अस्सलाम वालेकुम, नाम है इमरान अली इमरान और लेकर आया हूँ आपके लिए एक ज़बरदस्त इंटरव्यू और in this interview we'll try to have a mock test here. So you have to watch the mock test and then you can find out whether you speak like the student and you can rectify your own problems right now. Alright, let's start. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
And good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Isha Asad.
So Isha, where are you from?
I'm from Medina town, Faisalabad.
Okay, so may I see your proof of identification, please? Isha, how do you spell your name?
It's ESHA for Isha and ASAD for Asad.
Okay, thank you very much, that's fine. So how is the weather outside?
It's pretty cloudy and cold.
Okay, so let's talk about food and cooking.
Sure.
What sorts of food do you like eating the most?
The sort of food I like eating the most is the Chinese cuisine. I try a lot of other cuisines as well, but most of the times I prefer eating Chinese. And even at the weekends, I help my mom in cooking some Chinese dishes, and we enjoy it very well together.
Okay, so who normally does the cooking in your home?
Usually my mother cooks the food, and as I said, so on some occasions I give a helping hand to my mother, and we cook together. Also, we try different recipes from the internet and give it a try.
Okay, so do you watch cookery programs on TV and why?
Unfortunately, I don't find time to watch cookery programs, and also I don't like watching cookery programs. Instead, I prefer getting help from my mother if I find some kind of problem in cooking, and she guides me very well. So also it seems boring to me, so I don't watch cookery programs.
Okay, then nice. So in general, do you prefer eating out or eating at home?
In general, I prefer eating at home because according to my perception, it is quite hygienic, and it's good to be with your family at home in an easy environment and have the food. And plus, on some occasions like to celebrate some birthdays, or in order to have an outing, sometimes to get the excursion from the hectic routine of your life, we sometimes go out and have food outside as well.
Okay. Now I'm going to display you a topic right now, and you can make hints about that topic for 1 minute, and after that you have to speak on the topic for 2 minutes. Now it's done. So here is a topic. So the topic over here is describe a house or apartment that someone you know lives in. You should say whose house or apartment this is, and where the house apartment is, and what it looks like inside, and explain what you like or dislike about this person's house or apartment. So this is the topic. Your hint making time starts now. Okay, now please stop writing. The hint making time ends here. So now please speak on the topic. Describe a house or apartment that someone you know lives in.
The house or apartment I'm going to describe over here is my friend's apartment. Her name is Zara. Actually, the apartment is located in my vicinity, and she has come from a village in the city in order to have a good opportunity of job and for her career aspects as well. The thing I like about this apartment is it is facilitated with the modern and latest equipment, which is necessary for the living, and also it is ventilated, and it is quite furnished, and it has big windows for the ventilation. Also, it has a pretty big bedroom, but a single one. Furthermore, it has a small living area in which we can easily sit down and watch TV. Besides this, it has a terrace as well. well, where one can stand and enjoy the weather. And after all of this, I would like to say that this apartment is not like a home. Like obviously, it's not quite big, so it's only for the living of a single person or two. So, but overall, it's a good place.
So thank you very much. That is the end of the part 2. So here we go for the next. Now section 3. The topic is different types of homes. What kinds of homes are most popular in your country and why is this?
Well, I think there are different kinds of home. There's a apartment type or flats or big bungalows. Uh, I think it's dependent on us that whether we like living in a small flat apartment or a big house like villa. So that depends on us, I think.
Okay, so what do you think are the advantages of living in a house rather than an apartment?
Living in a house is quite advantageous in a sense that you get to live in a big place. It has a house has quite big rooms and garage as well, and you can find more facilities in a house comparative to the flat or apartment where the place is congested and you don't enjoy living freely as you can at home.
Okay, so do you think that everyone would like to live in large house or and why is that?
Yes, definitely. I think people like to live in a large house in order to get respite from the congestion of life. So they prefer living in a large home. Also, uh, it makes them feel fresh. You can get fresh air. They can walk freely through their home, and yes, that is the reason.
Okay, so how easy is it to find a place to live in your country?
I think it's quite difficult nowadays, as the it is we are facing the ever-growing population in the city areas, and there are a rush of buildings and apartments everywhere, and which are fully consumed. So I think it's a bit difficult to find a place to live in the city or the area I'm living.
Okay, do you think it is better to rent or buy a place to live in and why so?
Mm, well, I think buying a home on your own is way better than having a rental apartment or flat. Like you don't have the tension to pay your rents or these kind of charges monthly or whatever quarterly. So, in order to get a home, it will make you feel relaxed. You can have the confidence, and you can walk in society with the confidence that you have your own property, and plus you don't have the restrictions. You are not bounded in your home. While on the other hand, when you have a rented apartment or a place, you have the restrictions. You have to live with some limitations and boundaries, and you have to take care of it.
Okay, so do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to start living with their parents and why is that?
Obviously, the younger ones have to live with their parents. Like they are at an early stage of developing their character and personality. So I think it's a must. It's obligatory to live with the parents rather than they start living on their own. So,
Okay, thank you very much. That is the end of the test. Okay, now let's talk about your problems first of all. I'll try to show you some negatives first, then we'll go for the positive. The negative is in the part 1, you have to use the R method, means answer, reason, and example. But you were not willing to speak at length. And we have to conclude the first part within few minutes, even 2 minutes. We have to complete that. We have to explain that part. We have to stretch that part, and we have to consume 4 minutes minimum on that time. Got it? Listen to me. Look at me. Okay, so this was actually the negative. But there were many positives too. You use the word instead. That is beautiful. You have to use that. It's good. Start was you have possessed very nice starting actually. That's great. And you use the word usually and okay. In this way, your initiation was very good. But with the passage of time, it was getting lower and lower. Try to improve the words. Try to improve the vocabulary and the combination of the vocabulary. The second problem with you that was you were not using passive voice structures very much. So try to use the passive voice structures in your speaking. In part 2, the starting was nice, and you use the word thing. The first thing is, the second thing is. Don't try to use the word thing. You should use some synonyms for that if possible. So it was. I have observed that there was less feelings. You were not feeling the word. You were just actually speaking on the same temperament, and you were really speaking everything. There should be feelings, expressions in the words. Okay. So the main problem with part 2 was actually on the last 2 lines in the sub questions. You have to emphasize that. For example, there are some questions, 4 sub questions. Number all the first and second sub questions, just introduction of that place or that work. That okay. And after that, you have to emphasize that why you like that house, and you couldn't cope with that. So try to emphasize on the last part more. So if we talk about the part 3, then we have to use the ORES method. For example, first of all, you have to give your opinion, your reason, your the effects of that, and you can talk about the solutions too. So this is the method for part 3. Try to improve the part 3. Yes. Your answers were really abrupt and you were spontaneous to speak the answer. That is very positive. So, and next part was very good that you have spoken the word obviously. It was really nice. But there were few words that you have spoken. Try to uplift the word and try to use the appropriate words in your speaking. I would like to say that if you continue the same speaking, you can get 6.5 to 7 bands right now. Okay, good luck, best wishes. So this was actually a sample video for all of you that you can judge yourself whether you can speak in this way or whether you can speak in the other way. So thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. You can subscribe my channel.